ਇੱਕ ਓੰਕਾਰ ਸਤਿਨਾਮ ਕਰਤਾ ਪੁਰਖ ਨਿਰਭਉ ਨਿਰਵੈਰ ਅਕਾਲ ਮੂਰਤ ਅਜੂਨੀ ਸੈਭੰ ਗੁਰ ਪ੍ਰਸਾਦ ਜਪ ਆਦਿ ਸਚ ਜੁਗਾਦ ਸਚ ਹੈ ਭੀ ਸਚ ਨਾਨਕ ਹੋਸੀ ਭੀ ਸਚ ਇੱਕ ਓੰਕਾਰ ਸਤਿਨਾਮ ਕਰਤਾ ਪੁਰਖ ਨਿਰਭਉ ਨਿਰਵੈਰ ਅਕਾਲ ਮੂਰਤ ਅਜੂਨੀ ਸੈਭੰ ਗੁਰ ਪ੍ਰਸਾਦ ਜਪ ਆਦਿ ਸਚ ਜੁਗਾਦ ਸਚ ਹੈ ਭੀ ਸਚ ਨਾਨਕ ਹੋਸੀ ਭੀ ਸਚ ਇੱਕ ਓੰਕਾਰ ਸਤਿਨਾਮ ਕਰਤਾ ਪੁਰਖ ਨਿਰਭਉ ਨਿਰਵੈਰ ਅਕਾਲ ਮੂਰਤ ਅਜੂਨੀ ਸੈਭੰ ਗੁਰ ਪ੍ਰਸਾਦ ਜਪ ਆਦਿ ਸਚ ਜੁਗਾਦ ਸਚ ਹੈ ਭੀ ਸਚ ਨਾਨਕ ਹੋਸੀ ਭੀ ਸਚ ਇੱਕ ਓੰਕਾਰ ਸਤਿਨਾਮ ਕਰਤਾ ਪੁਰਖ ਨਿਰਭਉ ਨਿਰਵੈਰ ਅਕਾਲ ਮੂਰਤ ਅਜੂਨੀ ਸੈਭੰ ਗੁਰ ਪ੍ਰਸਾਦ ਜਪ ਆਦਿ ਸਚ ਜੁਗਾਦ ਸਚ ਹੈ ਭੀ ਸਚ ਨਾਨਕ ਹੋਸੀ ਭੀ ਸਚ ਇੱਕ ਓੰਕਾਰ ਸਤਿਨਾਮ ਕਰਤਾ ਪੁਰਖ ਨਿਰਭਉ ਨਿਰਵੈਰ ਅਕਾਲ ਮੂਰਤ ਅਜੂਨੀ ਸੈਭੰ ਗੁਰ ਪ੍ਰਸਾਦ ਜਪ ਆਦਿ ਸਚ ਜੁਗਾਦ ਸਚ ਹੈ ਭੀ ਸਚ ਨਾਨਕ ਹੋਸੀ ਭੀ ਸਚ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ 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 ਸਤਿਨਾਮ ਸ੍ਰੀ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ। ਏਕ ਮਨ ਪੁਰਖ ਧਿਆਏ ਬਰਦਾਤਾ ਸੰਤ ਸਹਾਰ ਸਦਾ ਬਿਖਿਆਤਾ ਤਾਸ ਚਰਨ ਲੈ ਹਿਰਦੈ ਬਸਾਵੋ ਤਉ ਪਰਮ ਗੁਰੂ ਨਾਨਕ ਗੁਣ ਗਾਵੋ। ਕਿਛ ਰੂਪ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਿਛ ਜਾਤ ਨਾਹੀ ਕਿਛ ਢੰਗ ਨ ਮੇਰਾ ਕਿਆ ਮੋਲ ਹੈ ਬੋਲ ਹੈ ਗੁਣ ਬਿਹੂਣ ਨਾਮ ਜਪਿਆ ਨਾ ਤੇਰਾ। ਹਮ ਪਾਪੀ ਸੰਗ ਗੁਰ ਉਬਰੇ ਪੁਨ ਸਤ ਗੁਰ ਕੇਰਾ ਟੰਡੋਤ ਬੰਧਨ ਅਨਕ ਬਾਰ ਸਰਬ ਕਲਾ ਸਮਰੱਥ ਡੋਲਣ ਤੇ ਰਾਖੋ ਪ੍ਰਭੂ ਨਾਨਕ ਦੇ ਘਰ ਹੱਥ। ਗਿਆਨ ਧਿਆਨ ਕਿਛ ਕਰਮ ਨ ਜਾਣਾ ਸਾਰ ਨ ਜਾਣਾ ਤੇਰੀ ਸਭ ਤੇ ਵੱਡਾ ਸਤਿਗੁਰ ਨਾਨਕ ਜਿਨ ਕਲ ਰਾਖੀ ਮੇਰੀ। ਸਭ ਤੇ ਵੱਡਾ ਸਤਿਗੁਰ ਨਾਨਕ ਜਿਨ ਕਲ ਰਾਖੀ ਮੇਰੀ। ਧੰਨ ਧੰਨ ਗੁਰੂ ਰੂਪ ਪਿਆਰੀ ਸਾਧ ਸੰਗਤ ਜੀਓ, ਆਓ ਸਭ ਆਖੋ ਜੀ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ। ਸਾਧ ਸੰਗਤ ਜੀ, ਅਸੀਂ ਬਹੁਤ ਬਹੁਤ ਵਡਭਾਗੇ ਹਾਂ ਜਿਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਦੇ ਓਟ ਆਸਰੇ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਸ੍ਰੀ ਗੁਰੂ ਗ੍ਰੰਥ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਜੀ ਸ਼ਬਦ ਤਖਤ ਛਤਰ ਦੇ ਮਾਲਕ, ਆਪਾਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਕਿਰਪਾ ਸਦਕਾ ਆਪਾਂ ਸਾਰੇ ਇਕੱਠੇ ਹੋਏ ਹਾਂ। Satsang ji, we're so grateful and so fortunate to be in the sanctuary of Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj on this evening together as Sangat, as fellow brothers and sisters, as all together, all in the love of Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj. Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj has blessed us. And as we are about to start this Katha, this discourse, this sermon of Sri Japji Sahib, that part, one of the most supreme and sublime and beautiful and powerful Banis in Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj. As we start on this journey together, and this is including me as well, we're all going on this journey together to understand how powerful and how amazing this Bani is. Sad Sangat Ji, we are all going to be able to experience something really powerful within us all. And I say this because Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj write these very, very exact words. They will say that Sun har katha utari mail, that by listening to katha, the discourse of Akal Purkh Vaheguru Ji about Guru Sahib Ji, about their Gurbani, that mail, that dirt that's inside of us will be eradicated, will be removed. That's how powerful Gurbani can be, and by listening to the discourse, the katha of Gurbani, of Guru Vaheguru Ji. Guru Sahib Ji continues to write, and they say that, they write, Sunhar katha utari mail. They will continue to say that within the Sangat, by coming into the Sangat, Mahapunit hoye sukhsel, that we'll become really complete and pure. We'll be able to eradicate the vices that we have enshrined with us from this world, and we'll be able to help us get through life. And we'll be able to walk in a bit more peace than what we might have today within our lives. They continue to write, Vade Pag Paya Sad Sang, that by great good fortune that we've been able to find this Sangat together. Vade Pag Paya Sad Sang Par Brahm Syo Lago Rang. And through this process of listening to Katha, by coming to Sangat, we will fall more and more in love with that divine. We'll fall more in love with Vaheguru Ji, with God, with Guru Sahib Ji, more so. So Sad Sangat Ji, I'll say it again, please do not take it for granted that we are here today just by our doing. It's not the case. Guru Sahib, Vaheguru Ji, that divine, that force, whatever you want to call it, but that energy has brought us here together for one reason or another. But they've made those little engineered ways in our life for us to be here. So apa sab hath jod ke, let's all say together, Satnam Sri Vaheguru. Sad Sangat Ji, as we start the Katha of Sri Japji Sahib, the part, the Katha is going to take us the majority of the year. The target will be to try and get through each pauri of Sri Japji Sahib, the part, and the slok towards the end of this year. And maybe Guru Kirpa Karan, if Guru Sahib Ji blesses us, we'll actually get to Guru Nanak Dev Ji's Avtar Purab and be able to complete the Japji Sahib Katha at that point or there and thereabouts. So this is the plan for the year. And like I said, I will emphasize this all the time. This is a journey that we all, myself included, we're all going to be going on together. And it's a beautiful journey that we can all experience. Sad Sangat Ji, another point to note, the Katha will be predominantly in English. I will be explaining in this in English because most of us understand English. Punjabi is our mother tongue, but English is our language that we speak in the UK here together between all of us. But I don't want this to in any way undermine the power and value of learning our mother tongue, which is Punjabi and Gurmukhi. It is so vital that we actually learn Gurmukhi and Punjabi because that is the language that Guru Sahib Ji have written Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji in. Not the language, I should be more clearer, that's the script that they've used to actually write Guru Granth Sahib Ji. But in Guru Granth Sahib Ji, there's multiple languages, but using the same script. If you think about French and German and Spanish, they all use the English alphabet that we see, but it's a different language. In that same way, Gurbani is in exactly the same format. Same script, same likhi, same letters, but different languages are within Guru Granth Sahib Ji. So it's fine for us to do this katha in English, but I would encourage you all to still learn Punjabi, Because as we read Gurbani and as we read the Guru Granth Sahib Ji or we read a Gurdas Sahib, it is a lot more powerful. The essence of what Guru Sahib Ji is saying to us really comes through when we actually read it in Gurmukhi script. And because then we can understand it slowly, we'll go on a journey to learn. It'll be a lot more powerful. It'll make more of an impact to you as individuals, to us all, if we read it in Gurmukhi. So Sad Sangat Ji, as we start this Katha, and before we go into Sri Japji Sahib da Paath, and we start talking about this powerful Bani, we must understand, first of all, who wrote that Bani. Let's go right to the very beginning. Let's go right to the start to build up our foundational knowledge of who actually wrote this Bani, where did it come from, and how valuable is Guru Granth Sahib Ji and Gurbani today. Let's just build that foundational layer, and then we will build upon that in the weeks to come. Most of us will know, I'm sure all of us will know, Sri Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj had given us this Bani of Sri Japji Sahib da Paath. But who was Guru Nanak Dev Ji, you may ask? Let's just ponder that for a moment. Why did Guru Nanak Dev Ji come to earth? What did they do for us? Let's explore that. Sad Sangat Ji, in Guru Granth Sahib Ji, Guru Nanak Dev Ji writes a very powerful shabad. They write, Kal Kati Raje Ka Sai. They say that in this time of Kalyug, Kal Kati Raje Ka Sai, in this time of Kalyug, kings had become butchers. Let's just talk a little bit about Kalyug before we expand on this further. What is Kalyug? So again, just for most of you will know this, but I'm just setting the foundations here. Kalyug is one of 4 ages. Ancient history writes that there were 4 ages of this world. There was Satyug, there was Treta, there was Dwapar, and Kalyug. Satyug was an age, an era where the world was in bliss, in harmony. Everybody was living in calmness and being righteous, and everybody was all in a state of anand, bliss. After Satyug came Treta. And at that time of Treta, Ramchandra Ji, Sri Ramchandra Ji was the Avtar, was you could say the godly being on earth to help the world and the people on earth at that time. Then came Dwapar. And Dwapar at that time, the Avtar or the godly being on earth at the time was Sri Krishna Bhagwan Ji. And after Dwapar, we got Kalyug. And the person, the being that came to earth to help us in Kalyug is Sri Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj. And how do we know this? We'll expand on this in a few moments. Let's explore this pankti, this line a bit further. Kal Kati Raje Ka Sai. That in this time of Kalyug, kings have become butchers. Kal Kati Raje Ka Sai, Taram Pank Kar Udreya. Guru Nanak Dev Ji explains righteousness to be a bird. And this bird has flown away. Taram Pank, Taram, righteousness, Pank, a bird, has flown away. Kar Udreya. They say, Kud Amavas. Such Chandrama. Kud means falsehood or falseness, speaking falseness, being false, not being true to who we are. Saying Kud Amavas, this falseness had actually covered the whole world, is covered completely in falsehoodness. Kud Amavas, such Chandrama. It's so dark with this falseness that light of the moon of truth can no longer be seen. Kud Amavas such Chandrama dise nahi keh chadya. Where has it even gone? We can't see this truth anymore. We can't see this light shining. Now, Sad Sangat Ji, Bhai Gurdas Ji, we're going to talk about Bhai Gurdas Ji a lot and about their writings. So we have to use literature, we have to use writings from Guru Granth Sahib Ji, we have to use texts from our scholars in our history, some great scholars, to be able to understand some of these foundational messages. Bhai Gurdas Ji was the uncle, the Mamaji of Sri Guru Arjan Dev Ji, our 5th Guru. And Bhai Gurdas Ji writes in their Varaan, and their Varaan, by the way, I'll just explain, are like a key that unlocks the treasure chest of Guru Granth Sahib Ji's wisdom. Guru Arjan Dev Ji blessed Bhai Gurdas Ji that their writings and their texts would be so powerful for years to come that the Sangat will be able to read Bhai Gurdas Ji's Varaan, their verses, and unlock some of the understanding of Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj. That's how important they are. And to add, Bhai Gurdas Ji and their greatness as well, they were the scribe that wrote the first version of Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji that we know as Sri Guru Ad Granth Sahib Ji. So Bhai Gurdas Ji was a very prominent scholar in our Sikh history. Bhai Gurdas Ji expands on these lines from Guru Nanak Dev Ji, and Bhai Gurdas Ji writes, Kal aayi kutte muhi. That Kalyug came, this dark age of Kalyug came like a dog with its mouth wide open. Kal aayi kutte muhi, khaj hua murdar gursai. That it started to devour people. It started to devour righteousness, not physically, but mentally and spiritually, their atma, their righteousness, their thought process. It started to devour people, and their thinking just was not right. They continued to write that Raje Paap Kamavde, very similar to what Guru Nanak Dev Ji wrote. Raje, kings, Paap Kamavde, Ulti Vaad Khet Ko Khai. It's a great analogy they use here, Sangat Ji. They write that if you can imagine, visualize for a moment a field, and in this field there are crops that a farmer has laid. And this field is protected by a fence, right? So you can visualize this fence. We have loads of fields. In Yorkshire, we've got loads of them as well. You can imagine these fences around these fields, and they protect the crops that a farmer has worked so hard to lay in this field. Now imagine, I know this doesn't really happen, but just imagine that that fence has overgrown and it's starting to devour the crops and destroy the crops. It's hard to imagine because it doesn't happen in reality. But this is an analogy that Bhai Gurdas Ji is used to say that just in the same way, a fence that is meant to protect the crops is destroying them and devouring them. In that same way, the kings who are meant to look after their subjects within a kingdom are destroying their subjects, destroying the people, being unjust, being oppressive, treating them badly. They say, Parja Andi Gyan Bin. That the society, the community is blind. Blind because they've got no knowledge. Parja Andi Gyan Bin. And they go on to explain that how that this is so bad. That how this is Gur Kusht Mukho Alai. That this now, because no one's got this knowledge of how to be, they're just speaking falsehood. They're acting false. They're not being true to who they really are. They've lost their spirituality. They've lost their faith. They go on in this verse. Bhai Gurdas Ji continues to write. They say, Chele Saj Vajayinde. Chele are like disciples. And they say, Guru Nachan. That the teachers and the masters who are supposed to teach the disciples, the gurus are the ones who are dancing to the tunes that are being played by the disciples. The students are making the teachers dance. Effectively what they're saying is that actually the teachers are not having really any effect on society and the disciples and the students at the time. The students are taking over that education. The students are not listening. They say, Chele Saj Vajayinde, Guru Nachan Bahut Abid Bhai. That this is just happening everywhere. The whole of society is reversed. There's no respect. They continue to say, Sevak Baithan Karan Vich. That the sevadars, the sevak, the people would come to do their seva of their masters and their teachers and the gurus and the pandits and the holy people at the time. They just sat at home. Guru ut kadite nare jai. And the gurus just get up and just stay at home. This state of society, Sad Sangat Ji, that Bhai Gurdas Ji writes, is a description of how bad Kalyug was, and still can be. They continue and they say, Qazi hoye Rishwati. That the Qazis, the spiritual, holy Muslim people, the priests, Qazi hoye Rishwati, they've become to take bribes. They're now taking bribes of kings and people with power. Vatti leke hak gavai. They've actually lost their responsibility of teaching justice, of teaching religion and teaching faith. They've lost that responsibility because they're bought by rishwat, by bribes. They go on further to explain that men and women are just in love with money. That they might be married, they might be couples, but whatever they're doing, they're just in love with money and they don't care where that money's come from. They don't care if it's come from true hard work. They don't care if it's come from betrayal or doing something unfaithful. They say, Istri purkhe dam het. They say, Istri purkhe dam het, bhave aaye kithao jai. No matter where that money's come from. Vartya paap sabas jagamahi. That this is the paap that was spread across the whole world. Bhai Gurdas Ji now tells us that this is the state of the world. And we learn and we understand that this is exactly why Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj came. Because Suni Pukar, that this Pukar, the earth had so much sin bearing upon the earth and the land. The earth could not take this anymore. It made a plea, a prayer to that divine Lord, the master of the universe. And it said to that divine God, said, help me. I can't deal with this anymore. Sometimes we might feel like that. I can't deal with this anymore. We have to do a prayer. We have to do an ardas. We have to do a benti. We say, you know what? Whoever you are out there, whatever that power is, just help me, man. I need that help. And the earth did exactly the same thing. And Vaheguru Ji heard that prayer because Vaheguru Ji listens. They absolutely listen. Suni pukar datar prab. That they heard this prayer of the earth. And they said, Guru Nanak jag mahe pathaya. And they sent the form of themselves in the physical form of Sri Guru Nanak Dev Ji. Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj came to earth as a manifestation of that formless Lord, that Nirankar. And they came to help the earth eradicate this sin. That's why we say this Shabad whenever it's Guru Nanak Dev Ji's Avtar Purab as well. We celebrated back in November, late last year. We hear this Shabad, Sadguru Nanak Pragataya, Mitti Tund Jag Chanan Hoa. We sing this all the time, and this Shabad, what does these lines mean? Bhai Gurdas Ji writes, Satgur, the true Guru, Sadguru Nanak Pragataya, came to earth. Pragataya, Mitti Tund, this dust, this whole cloud of falseness and Kalyug, Mitti Tund Jag Chanan Hoa. And then there was just bright light shining everywhere, that light of truth, that light of knowledge, of spiritual wisdom was shining across the earth. And this is what Guru Nanak Dev Ji's message is, to come and bring that peace and bring us to connect with that divine on earth. Guru Gobind Singh Ji Maharaj, they write in their Bani, Jab jab hot arisht apara, tab tab dehe tart avtara. Whenever there is tyranny on earth, whenever there is some sins, a mass amount of sins happening on earth, jab jab hot arisht apara, tab tab dehe tart avtara. At that time, Satsanga Ji, Vaheguru Ji, that divine Lord, that master of the universe, the one that created everything, sends a manifestation of himself to earth to help the world in pain. Satsanga Ji, let's explore what is an Avtar. We hear this word Avtar quite a lot. And we hear that Guru Nanak Dev Ji's reference of as an Avtar as well. Avtar is a word that's made from two words. Avta and Rakti. Avta means a being and Rakta means to protect. So an Avtar is a being who's come to protect. And there are 6 types of different Avtar. There's Ansa Avtar, an Avesha Avtar, a Kala Avtar, Nit Avtar, Namit Avtar, and a Puran Avtar. I'll just explain what each of these different Avtar are so we understand. An Ansa Avtar is an Avtar similar to a king who is just, who is righteous, and he looks after the people within his kingdom. Rightly and carefully, he looks after them and he treats them very well. That is an Ansa Avtar. An Avesha Avtar is someone who might come to earth, be born, but then that Avesha Avtar, after doing lots of meditation, lots of spiritual jap and tap, and going through a process of connecting with the divine, they gain spiritual powers for good. That becomes an Avesha Avtar. A Kala Avtar is a being that comes with the Kala. A Kala is a spiritual divine power. Yeah? A Kala, we're going to talk about Kala in a moment more so. Kala is a divine power, a complete divine power. And a Kala Avtar is someone who comes, who has a divine power or more than one divine power. And they come to do something on earth and then they go away. You have then a Nit Avtar. A Nit Avtar is synonymous to how we think of Sants, Mahapurush, Gurmukhs, Braham Gyanis, great beings who are truly connected with the divine and connect us with Guru Sahib Ji as well. And those Nit Avtar are avatars who are actually here to teach us the maryada and the discipline and the code of conduct to be able to connect with that divine Lord, to help us connect with Guru Sahib Ji, connect us with Vaheguru Ji. They've come to teach us that maryada, about how do we do that. A Namit Avtar, the fifth Avtar, a Namit Avtar is like the Narsingha. Narsingha Sad Sangat Ji was half man, half beast, who came for a specific purpose for a short period of time and then disappeared. The Narsingha came to save Bhagat Prahlad Ji. Bhagat Prahlad Ji was in danger from their father, Harnaksh, who wanted to kill Bhagat Prahlad Ji because they wouldn't bow down to their father. Their father thought that they were a god. That's how much ego that their father had. And Harnaksh thought he was a god, and Bhagat Prahlad Ji, only bowed down to that divine Lord. And he said, I'm not going to bow down to you. And Harnaksh tried to kill their son, Bhagat Prahlad Ji. Bhagat Prahlad Ji did the ardas, and Narsingha, which was a half man, half beast, came and destroyed Harnaksh. We read this in Rera Sahib Ji da Paath every day. Har jug jug bhagate upaya, pej rakhda aya Ram Raje, Harnaksh dusht har marya, Prahlad taraya. So we read that every day. The sixth type of avatar, Sad Sangat Ji, is a Puran avatar. A Puran avatar is defined as a manifestation of Vishnu Ji, one of the Hindu great gods. Now, Vishnu Ji's manifestations, they're known in history that there were 24 different manifestations of Vishnu Ji. Two that we know very, very well. One was Ramchandra Ji and Sri Krishna Bhagwan Ji. Okay? They were all manifestations of Vishnu Ji. So if Ramchandra Ji is a manifestation of Vishnu Ji in Treta Yug, Krishna Bhagwan Ji is a manifestation of Vishnu Ji in Dwapar Yug. And in Kalyug, people would then say, well, does that mean Guru Nanak Dev Ji was a manifestation of Vishnu Ji? Let's just explore that for a moment. Sad Sangat Ji, in our history, a conversation has been documented between Guru Gobind Singh Ji and the Sangat. And the Sangat asked this very question to Guru Gobind Singh Ji, Maharaj, explain to us, help us understand, is Guru Nanak Dev Ji therefore an avatar of Vishnu Ji? How do we understand who Guru Nanak Dev Ji was? Guru Gobind Singh Ji, in a lot of detail, explained the differences between the different avatars that came to earth. And this Bani is written in Sri Dasam Granthi Bani, in Guru Gobind Singh Ji's own Granth, their own writings, called Jobis Avatar. Now, Sad Sangat Ji, I'm not going to go into that level of detail, but whilst going through this, some of the key things that struck me, what Guru Gobind Singh Ji explained to the Sangat. First of all, let's look at what Guru Nanak Dev Ji did when they came. Guru Nanak Dev Ji's age was around about 70 years old before they left their physical form. And in those 70 years, Sad Sangat Ji, how many people did they save? How much traveling did they do? They are the second most traveled person in the world's history as a human being. I can't remember who the first one is, but I've read they are the second most traveled person. They traveled well over 20,000 kilometers. And we know these Udasis, people say there's 4 Udasis or there's 5 Udasis. They traveled so many places to spread the word of God, to tell the world that actually God is not in a place. God is not in the clouds with a big white beard. God is everywhere. And that was revolutionary at the time. People could not comprehend how serious these messages were and how different they were to what other people understood. Guru Nanak Dev Ji was spreading the word of God, that that oneness is everywhere, not in the Kaaba, when Guru Nanak Dev Ji went to Mecca, not within an idol, a stone statue where there's a goddess or a god or deity, that God is actually in all of us. God is present now, God is present before, and God will always be present. Ad Sach, Jugad Sach, hai bhi sach, Nanak hosi bhi sach. He will always be present. He's present in the physical things that we see, what we touch. God is here all the time. And this message, Sad Sangat Ji, was absolutely revolutionary. Guru Nanak Dev Ji spread this message throughout the whole of the land over 70 years. Guru Gobind Singh Ji explains this to the Sangat, and when we look at some of the other Avtars who came to earth, like Krishna Bhagwan Ji and Ramchandra Ji, they were here for thousands of years because they could prolong their life. And over that thousands of years, they may have stayed within a smaller area of the kingdoms or wherever they were, but they didn't spread that message of the oneness as much as Guru Nanak Dev Ji, which shows us that Guru Nanak Dev Ji is a true manifestation, not of Vishnu Ji, but of Vaheguru Ji themselves. Furthermore, Guru Gobind Singh Ji explains to the Sangat as well that, their kartab, some of the things that Guru Nanak Dev Ji did, one of the greatest things that Guru Nanak Dev Ji did, and over this Katha Sad Sangat Ji will explore some of the Sakhi of Guru Nanak Dev Ji as well. But if we just know, and it's an absolute fact, and you will absolutely resonate with this, Guru Nanak Dev Ji did something that no other prophet, no other Avtar, no other spiritual master in the history of human beings has ever done. They passed on their Gaddi, their spiritual light, their spiritual power from one physical form to a second, to a third, to a fourth, up to the 10th. And now, Sad Sangat Ji, that spiritual form is now in Tan Tan Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj. Everybody say Tan Tan Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj. Sad Sangat Ji, Guru Nanak Dev Ji passed on their jyot, their light, their wisdom, their power from their physical body to Sri Guru Angad Dev Ji, all the way through to Sri Guru Gobind Singh Ji Maharaj, through 10 forms. Nobody else has ever done that. No other faith group, religion, culture has ever seen that. And I'm not saying this, Sad Sangat Ji, to put anybody down. I'm not. I'm making us all realize that Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj is a true manifestation of Vaheguru Ji, of God, of Paramatma, of Allah, of Ram, of whatever you want to call that deity. Maaf karna, not deity, that power, that divine power. They are a manifestation of that divine power, that Nirankar, that formless form. So Sad Sangat Ji, Guru Gobind Singh Ji get presented a question from the Sangat, say, Maharaj, okay, we understand that Guru Nanak Dev Ji is not an avatar of Vishnu Ji, but actually an avatar of Vaheguru Ji themselves. They are Vaheguru Ji on earth themselves. How authentic is this knowledge? How real is this? Are we sure? So Guru Gobind Singh Ji explained this a little bit further. And they say, let's give 3 different kinds of authenticities. You have a Vedic Praman, Vedic authenticity. We'll have a look at Lokik Praman, which is like what of the other Bhagats, other spiritual people said about Guru Nanak Dev Ji. And then we can explore the Sve Praman. Sve Praman are the other Praman, other writings of the other Gurus that have come after Guru Nanak Dev Ji. And what do they write? So let's look at the Vedic Praman. And Sad Sangat Ji, in the Vedas, it has been prophesied, already been written at the times of when they were written many thousands of years ago, that in the time of Kalyug, that a being will come who is a manifestation of the Lord themselves. They will come as Nanak to be able to help earth in this time of Kalyug. The Vedas have already prophesied this, that this was going to happen. So that ticks Vedic Praman. Lokik Praman. Lokik Praman for us, Sad Sangat Ji, would be the writings of the Bhatts, the poets who Guru Arjan Dev Ji Maharaj have put their Bani within Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj. So let's look at the Bani of Guru Granth Sahib Ji. What do the Bhatts say? The Bhatts would write, Aap Narayan Kalatar. Aap Narayan. God themselves, Aap Narayan Kalatar, with their divine powers, Kalatar, Jagmeh Parvaryo. They came to earth themselves. Nirankar Akar. Nirankar means formless, Lord. Akar means the form, Lord. Nirankar Akar Jyot Jagamandal Karyo. That light from that Nirankar, that Lord, was spread everywhere. They're talking about Guru Nanak Dev Ji. This is in Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj. That's Lokik Praman. Let's not also forget Bhai Gurdas Ji. We've already mentioned Bhai Gurdas Ji was also a very devout scholar of Gurbani. And they write, Satguru Nanak Pragateya Mitti Tund Jag Janan Hoya. They write that Guru Nanak Dev Ji was Satguru Ji's form themselves. Kalataran Guru Nanak Aya. Kaljagnu Taranu Guru Nanak Dev Ji came. So that gives us that authenticity. The third authenticity is what has the Gurus written about Guru Nanak Dev Ji. The Gurus write, Guru Ramdas Ji, they would write Guru Arjan Dev Ji. If they've written so much Bani, there's so much Bani to explore. Where do we stop? Guru Arjan Dev Ji writes, Gur ka sabad na mete koe, Guru Nanak, Nanak har soe. That Guru's shabad, the sabad, the instruction, the teaching, we cannot eradicate it. We can't ignore it. That shabad is there forever. But Guru Nanak Dev Ji is an embodiment of Vaheguru Ji themselves. Guru Nanak, Nanak har soe. They are one and the same thing. Gur Parmesar Eko Jan. That Guru and Parmesar. Parmesar is another word for God. Eko Jan. See them as one. They are no different to anyone else. Another pankti. Guru Jaisa Nahi Ko Dev. Like the Guru, there's no other deity or God or goddess like the Guru. Guru Jaisa Nahi Ko Dev. So there's so many pramans, so many lines of Gurbani and Shabads that we can refer to that give us the authenticity that Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj truly was God on earth. So we're building up a connection now. We're kind of like joining up some dots. We've talked about Vaheguru Ji coming to earth. We've talked about Guru Nanak Dev Ji being the embodiment of Vaheguru Ji, that there's no difference between the two. The next thing that we're going to join the dot on is Gurbani. Maharaj writes, Bani Guru, Guru hai Bani, which Bani Amrit Sare. Well, if we know that Guru is like Vaheguru, Guru is the same as Vaheguru, there's no difference, and Guru Bani is saying to us that Bani Guru and Guru Bani, that Bani and Guru are the same thing, then I ask the question, Sadh Sangaji, if you've got Vaheguru, you've got Guru, and you've got Bani, what's the difference? There is none. There is absolutely no difference. That's why there's panktiya in Gurbani that say, Vaho Vaho Nirankar hai. Vaho Vaho Bani Nirankar hai. This is Jevad Avrana koi. That Vaho Vaho, by saying wow and wow, Vaho Vaho Bani Nirankar hai. That Bani is that formless Lord itself. That Bani is the word of God itself. And there's nothing else like it in the world. This is Jevad Avrana koi. So Sadh Sangaji, we come every time to the Gurdwara and we do Matha Tek to Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji, and many of us will say that we follow Guru Granth Sahib Ji, and we absolutely do. And if we say that truthfully, we cannot deny the fact that we are today sat in the presence of God's physical form on earth. Akho Satnam Sri Vaheguru. Whenever we come to the Gurdwara and we see Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj, do not think that this is just mere paper with ink written on it. Nahi Sadh Sangat Ji, nahi. That is our worldly eyes, our worldly lens that has blinded us to not understand the greatness of Gurbani. We need to change that lens, take off that worldly pair of glasses and put on the glasses of the Guru and understand that Vaheguru, Guru and Bani are one and the same thing. Vaho Vaho Bani Nirankar hai. This is Jevad Avrana koi. And Sadh Sangat Ji, the power of Gurbani is so vast. And Sadh Sangat Ji, in the next few minutes, let's explore why is Gurbani so powerful. How do we treat Gurbani today? We see Sevadars doing the Chaur Sahib Seva of Guru Granth Sahib Ji. Why do we treat it so respectfully? How have we learned this maryada, this discipline? Where has that come from? Sadh Sangat Ji, we have to look in our history. And we look at Sri Guru Arjan Dev Ji Maharaj. And we look at how Sri Guru Arjan Dev Ji Maharaj, even though they were the Guru at the time, they respected so highly the words of the four previous Gurus before them. Sadh Sangat Ji, Baba Mohan Ji, who was the grandson of Guru Amardas Ji Maharaj, our third Guru. Baba Mohan Ji had safely kept the pothiyan of the writings of Sri Guru Nanak Dev Ji, Sri Guru Angad Dev Ji, Sri Guru Amar Das Ji and Sri Guru Ram Das Ji. Those pothiyan were safely kept. And Guru Arjan Dev Ji Maharaj travelled to Govindwal Sahib, where Baba Mohan Ji was living, and they went to their home to be able to get the pothiyan from them, to get the writings of the other gurus that came before. And the Guru Arjan Dev Ji wanted to do this seva of actually putting together Sri Guru Adi Granth Sahib Ji. But they wanted to compile all the Bani together. When they went to Baba Mohan Ji's house, the Sakhi is a bit longer, but I'll summarize the Sakhi, the story. They went and they sat outside Baba Mohan Ji's house on the floor, and they recited beautiful shabads, and they convinced Baba Mohan Ji to give them the pothiyan because Baba Mohan Ji didn't want to let them go. Baba Mohan Ji gave, with all respect, gave the pothiyan to Sri Guru Arjan Dev Ji Maharaj. Sadh Sangat Ji, how did Guru Arjan Dev Ji Maharaj bring those pothiyan to Amritsar? How? They put them pothiyan on a palanquin, a very decorated box, normally with like 2 sticks carried by 4 bearers, 4 carriers. And they put the pothiyan in a palki, and they carried, the Sevadars carried the palki from Govindwal all the way to Amritsar, whilst Guru Arjan Dev Ji, the Guru themselves, nange peri, barefooted, walked behind the palki, behind the pothiyan, doing Chaur Sahib over the pothiyan from Govindwal to Amritsar on foot. They didn't get on a horse and ride alongside the pothiyan. They actually walked nange peri, barefooted. They started to show the Sangat how we need to respect Gurbani, how we need to treat the Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj. When Maharaj brought the pothiyan back to Amritsar, they put the pothiyan on a bed, a cleaned bed, and they themselves slept on the floor on a chadar. They never slept on the bed again. Even when Sri Guru Adi Granth Sahib Ji was formed and they wrote and they compiled the Bani for us, they put Sri Guru Adi Granth Sahib Ji on that bed and then they would sit on the floor. Sadh Sangat Ji, even to this point, where Baba Buddha Ji would do the Prakash of Sri Guru Adi Granth Sahib Ji, Prakash meaning the opening of Sri Guru Adi Granth Sahib Ji at Harmandir Sahib. They were the first Gyani of Sikhi, you could say even, is Baba Buddha Ji. And Sri Guru Arjan Dev Ji would not sit on a palki level with Sri Guru Adi Granth Sahib Ji. Sri Guru Arjan Dev Ji would sit on the floor with the Sangat. This is the amount of respect Guru Arjan Dev Ji practically showed us how we treat Gurbani today, how it was treated then, and how we need to treat Gurbani in the future. And this is why, Sadh Sangat Ji, we see Sevadars doing Chaur Sahib over Guru Granth Sahib Ji. Whenever Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj comes, some people will blow horns and trumpets that our King of Kings is coming into the Darbar or coming to someone's home. There will be Shastrtari, Singaniya, carrying Kirpana in terms of sovereignty. This is our King, Sadh Sangat Ji. Let's not be mistaken. We see the kings and queens of the world, and there's cannons that fire, and there's brigades, and there's platoons, and there's people who are there. Armies come forward in sovereignty to show the might of the kingdoms that we live in. But Sadh Sangat Ji, our King of Kings is no short. In fact, they are far beyond the worldly kings and queens that we live with. Guru Arjan Dev Ji showed us how we need to treat and respect Gurbani. Sadh Sangat Ji, the power of Gurbani is vast, and Gurbani can truly transform us. This Katha series that we're about to embark on together, and I truly mean together as brothers and sisters, Sadh Sangat Ji, is transformational. Sadh Sangat Ji, we just need to look and read Gurbani and understand Gurbani, and we will see straight away what a difference it can make in our life. Let me help explain this with an analogy. Imagine for a moment there's a lighthouse on the banks of a coast. And at the dark of night, when there's ships that are trying to go from one place to another in the sea, in the dark of night, they need a lighthouse to be able to guide them to land. And Sangat Ji, those ships without that lighthouse could get straying off their path. They might not find land, they might not get to where they need to be. But that lighthouse, when it's shining that beacon of light, guides the ships across the ocean. And when they see that light, the ships get to safety. They complete their journey. Some ships, Sad Sangat Ji, don't see the lighthouse. And they might go off astray. They might go somewhere else. They might get lost. They might not get to land. Or they might struggle and get to land eventually. But without that lighthouse, they will struggle. Sad Sangat Ji, Gurbani is exactly the same as that lighthouse. Guru Sahib Ji writes, Gurbani is a jug mein chanan. That Gurbani in this time of age of Kalyug is a chanan, is a beacon of light. Gurbani is jug mein chanan, karam vasai man aaye. Only the fortunate are able to see this beacon of light and actually go towards that light to help them in their life. If you can imagine this time that we are in of Kalyug, that we're living this life, this is like that dark night where a ship is sailing across the sea. The sea is our life. The boat is us, our soul. And it's going through this Kalyug, this time, trying to navigate the waves and trying to navigate through life to be able to get to the land on the other side, to get to safety, to get to what we want, liberation, mukti. We want to be liberated. Our Atma doesn't want to come back into this life again. We want to be mukt. We want to be liberated. We want to be free. And the way to achieve that, Sad Sangat Ji, is through Gurbani. Now, how do we do that? How do we go on this journey together? Bani birlo bicharsi, jeko gurmukh hoy. Gurbani says to us. Now I'm going to try and just give you these pankti and these lines from Gurbani, because that's the source of truth. Gurbani is the source of truth. And that's what we're going to use as our reference points. So Sad Sangat Ji, Gurbani by the support of Gurbani, let's go through these panktiyan. Bani birlo bicharsi jeko gurmukh hoy. By becoming a gurmukh, in order to become a gurmukh, we need to contemplate what is Gurbani telling us. Sanu vicharna pena. We're going to have to really discuss and understand Gurbani. And by understanding Gurbani, we need to understand a Bani Mahapurkh ki nij kar vasa hoy. That this Bani is from the Supreme Being, is from the Mahapurkh, the Supreme Being. Mahapurkh ki nij kar vasa hoy. That's how we're going to experience the light within us. Because remember, Sad Sangat Ji, God isn't in the clouds. God isn't in a particular place. God is within all of us. Do not be fooled by thinking that you're not worthy because you've done X, Y, Z in your life, or you've done this and you've done that. Nahi. Sad Sangat Ji, nahi. No. Vaheguru Ji exists in all of us. The journey is on the inside. How are we going to experience that one inside us? How are we going to feel that one inside of us? And that's the journey that we can go on by becoming a Gurmukh. A Gurmukh is someone who is Guru facing. A Gurmukh is someone who is only looking at the wisdom of the Guru, not a Manmukh. A Manmukh is someone who's going to do whatever the mind says. Whatever the world says, the mind is convinced through advertising, through peer pressure, through people saying do this and do that, you need to look like this. That's the Manmukh way of the world. We don't want that. We want Gurmukhi. We want Gurmat. We want Guru's understanding. Now that doesn't mean to say that you need to, straight away grow a dari or wear a pag or go in bana or take Amrit straight away. Absolutely, those are important things on this journey. And I'm going to express the journey. The important thing is how do we change? How are we going to become better? How are we going to get over some of the problems that we experience today with anxiety, with depressions, with worries? How do we get over that? That's through Gurbani. That is through going on the journey of Gurbani. We are so lucky, Sad Sangat Ji. We don't just say that Guru Granth Sahib Ji is a living Guru. They truly are. How? When we come and we do an ardas, Guru Sahib Ji gives us a Hukamnama. Now, a Hukamnama is so powerful. It will help resolve whatever fears we have, whatever ardas, whatever prayer we have. And Sad Sangat Ji, I'm just going to say this, and I can't remember the Hukamnama that came early, but I remember the essence of this Hukamnama that was recited just before we started today's Divan. I was absolutely scared today coming into the Katha of the Gurudwara Sahib, Because I had this fear, because this is a katha, this is such a long journey to go on with the sangat, and I didn't want to do it any disservice. And there's this nervousness and there's this fear even within me about doing this. When we did that ardas and the Hukamnama came, and the Hukamnama was, what have you got to fear? What have you got to fear? We're trying to do the seva of the Guru. We're trying to talk about the greatness of the Guru, even though it's only a sesame seed's worth of greatness that we can even explore, because we're not able to go to that depth. But what have we got to fear? And Maharaj answered my ardas straight away. That's how present God is right now in this room. They listen to our ardasa straight away, and they give us the guidance we need for that moment in time in life. Sad Sangat Ji, let's explore other things, other panktiyan that Maharaj can help us with today. Maharaj would say to us, Turki Bani ai, tin sagli chint matai. That this Bani has come from far away. When I say far away, not from like far away in terms of like London or India, right? It's come from another place of existence. It's come from another higher state of consciousness, spiritually speaking. Okay, this Bani is not just someone just written these words down. This Bani has come from a higher state of consciousness. It's come from direct the source being Vaheguru Ji Akal Purukh Maharaj. This Bani is from that source. Turki Bani ai, and what does it do? Tin sagli chint matai. It's going to help get rid of our chintavan, our worries, our anxieties. Okay, let's explore this for a moment. Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj met Bhai Lalo Ji, and Bhai Lalo Ji was having a conversation with Guru Nanak Dev Ji, and in this conversation the question arose that, Maharaj, where does this Bani come from? Guru Nanak Dev Ji explained that this Bani comes from Vaheguru Ji themselves. Jaise mein aave khasam ki Bani, tesra kadi gyan velalo. That however my beloved makes me say these words, I just say them as they are. This is Bani that's coming from a divine source. Guru Ramdas Ji Maharaj would say, Satgur ki Bani sat kar jano gur sikho. Har aap karta moho aap kadaye. That this Bani, Satgur ki Bani, the Satguru Ji di Bani, Sat, it is the truth. They're saying it twice. It is the truest of the true. Satgur ki Bani sat kar jano gur sikho. Har karta moho aap kadaye. That whatever that karta, that creator is making me say, I'm just saying it. Sangat Ji, in today's world, not just in the Sikh community, but generally in the spiritual world, there's many people in the world who are spiritual who aren't Sikh. And you look at what they're experiencing and what they go through. There's something called channeling, where people are able to, of a spiritual power, of a spiritual gift, you could say, able to receive messages from a spiritual source. The common world knows that as channeling. Sad Sangat Ji, Gurbani is the vibration, the words of God channeled through Guru Sahib Ji themselves, given to us in the form of Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj. Those words have come from a higher place of consciousness. They've been channeled through, but not from another spirit or anybody else, but from the source itself, from Vaheguru Ji, that divine itself. They are truly the words of God. Guru Arjan Dev Ji Maharaj gives us many guides and lessons and teachings that we can really reflect upon. But in Sri Sukhmani Sahib Ji, the part, they give us some great guidance. One body in this Ashpadi that really hits home. They talk about Pure Gur ka sun upadesh. It's in the last Ashpadi, the first body. Pure Gur ka, the true Guru, the perfect Guru, Pure Gur ka sun upadesh. Listen to this instruction of the true Guru. Pure Gur ka sun upadesh, par brahm nikat kar pek. Realize this. That Par Brahm, that God that you think exists somewhere far from you, is not far from you, it is close to you. Par Brahm nikat kar pek is so close to you. They say saas, with every breath, simro gobind. With every breath you have, Just meditate and focus on the one Lord. Sa sa simro gobind, man antar ki uttare chind. You know that anxiety, that worry that you have in your mind, in your heart, that will just go away. Man antar ki uttare chind. As anita tyago trang. You know them desires and expectations that we have? Them desires that come up like a wave in our minds, you know what, I want this. We see an advertisement, I want the next new iPhone. I'm a bit like that, Sad Sangaji, apologies. But we want the next best thing. We want the next best car, we want the next best camera gadget, we want the next best bit of jewelry. These are the desires that come up, and these are expectations. And Sangaji, sometimes we see these positive affirmations we see on Instagram, and we see all over social media nowadays. You can even buy these things off Amazon, like calendars with positive affirmations. I saw one the other day, and it said, expectations lead to disappointment. If you expect something and you don't get it, you're going to be suffering. I thought, has this person been reading Gurbani? Because Guru Sahib says exactly the same thing. Guru Nanak Dev Ji, one of their Shabads, explains to us that having an expectation is the source of suffering, because you expect something. Doesn't mean to say that you will get it, because if you don't get it, you can be like, damn, I didn't get it. And then you'll be like, why didn't I get it? What went wrong? God, why didn't you give it to me? And it's like, But actually, it's that expectation that led us to that suffering. You can expand on that further and further. Going back to that Shabad, As Anita Tyago Trang, Guru Arjan Dev Ji Maharaj is saying to us, renounce your expectations. As Anita Tyago Trang. The next punct is Santa Janaki Tood Man Mang. Actually, what we should be asking for is the dust of the Sangat, the dust of the Sants, of Santa Janaki Tood Man Mang. Get that dust, because what they're saying is being in Sangat. Come in being in Sangat, and with the dust of the worthy Sad Sangat, our fortunes can change. They say, Aap chod benti karo. Now, they're saying, yourself, from a place of selflessness. Forget yourself, forget your ego. Aap chod, ta fir benti karo. Do the ardas. Ik benti hath jod ke karo. Sad sang agan sagar taro. You know that fire, that ocean, that analogy we talked about, the lighthouse? Here, Guru Arjan Dev Ji is saying it's like an ocean of fire. Sad sang, by coming into the Sangat, Sad sang, agan sagar taro, we'll get through this ocean together. So I keep on saying, Sad Sangaji, this is a journey. And it's going to be a beautiful journey that we go on together. They say, Haratan ke par leho pandar. Whilst we're here, fill your stores. Fill up whatever you can, gain whatever you can, get whatever knowledge you can to help you with your life at this moment in time. Haratan ke par leho pandar. Nanak Gur Pure Namaskar, and we bow down in reverence to that Pura Guru, Tan Tan Siddhi Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj. So Sad Sangat Ji, there's so many pramans, so many panktiyan of Gurbani that we can reflect upon to help us understand the greatness of Gurbani. Gurbani can help us in every moment in our life. We just need to know what Gurbani is telling us. And there's so much. We will never get through the whole knowledge of Gurbani in this lifetime. Gyani Pinderpal Singh Ji in their Katha say beautiful things, and when I reflect upon some of the things they say, it's so true. One of the things they said which hit me, so relevant, is that they say, even in their lifetime, as Gyani Pinderpal Singh Ji, one of the greatest scholars in Sikhi, in the Sikh Pantha alive today, even they say that they are never going to understand the depth and the entire knowledge and wisdom within Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji in this lifetime. It would take lifetimes, many lifetimes, to get through that knowledge. So even if we're able to hold on to one Shabad that can help us in a moment of ego, that Shabad that can help us in a moment of despair, like Tati Vauna Lagay Para Brahm Saranai, that I don't want this Tati Hava Neemi Maharaj, protect me. Gur ka sabad rakhware, Guru Shabad will protect us. Gur ka sabad rakhware, chauki chaugird hamare, in all four directions around us is a spiritual force, a barrier that will protect us. We say so many Shabads, Oki Karina dekhan dahi. And Maharaj, don't give us that Okha time, just help us. It's about our mind. We need to reprogram our mind to be Guru facing, to adopt Guru's Gurmat rather than the worldly Manmat. So Sad Sangat Ji, As we come towards the end of today's first Katha, just to summarize and reflect, go back upon what we've talked about. We've explored the greatness of Sri Guru Nanak Dev Ji. We've understood that Vaheguru Ji came to earth for a purpose as Guru Nanak Dev Ji, as a manifestation of Vaheguru Ji themselves. And Guru Nanak Dev Ji has given us Gurbani over their 10 forms, and Guru Arjan Dev Ji has given us Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj. We've understood that Guru Granth Sahib Ji is the form of God today for us. We've understood the Maryada of Gurbani. One point I haven't mentioned, which is so real and we need it, at the very start I mentioned about the importance of learning Gurmukhi and Punjabi as our mother tongue. Sad Sangat Ji, Santhya, being able to read Gurbani accurately and properly and understand the construct of Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji is so vital. Because just reading Guru Granth Sahib Ji is not the end game. Reading and understanding how Gurbani is constructed, how to take a Hukamnama Sahib, how to actually understand what Guru Sahib is saying to us, what do certain things mean, what do the rags mean, what do the partals mean. There's so much detail to Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj. We need to go through Santhya, which is a lessons to understand how to recite and read Gurbani. So Sad Sangat Ji, I would encourage you all, Gurbani is our Guru, Gurbani is our God. Let's learn together how to read Gurbani, how to treat Gurbani, what is the Maryada around Gurbani. And at this Gurdwara Sahib, Sad Sangat Ji, every Thursday and every Sunday, there are Santhya classes that happen downstairs in the hall. So I would encourage you all to take them Santhya classes because it's so important. God forbid there's a time when there's no Gyanis who come from India, because we always call people over. God forbid there's a time then there's not enough people to be able to do Gurbani part. I'm sure Maharaj won't bring that upon us. But just imagine if we didn't have a Gyanis to be able to do this seva of Guru Granth Sahib Ji, who's going to do it? All of us. Apa sare kariye. We are the Sikh of the Guru. Why shouldn't we do this? This seva is bestowed upon us. If we can't get the Gyanis to do it, apa Gyani ban jiye. Now we can all go on that journey together as well. So please, I encourage you all to learn Gurbani, learn Santhya. And we've understood today the greatness of Gurbani, about how powerful Gurbani is. So I'm hoping, Sad Sangat Ji, that we've laid the foundation to start the Sri Japji Sahib Katha. Next week, Sad Sangat Ji, we will go into talking about the deepness and the greatness of Sri Japji Sahib a bit more so. Today was a bit more general and generic. Next week we will talk about what does Japji Sahib part do? How great is Sri Japji Sahib part? And then we'll talk about the Mool Mantar. We'll start to talk about some of the translations, the basic translations of Mool Mantar. And then that will start our journey next week. So Sad Sangat Ji, whilst doing this Katha, whilst going through the discourse of Guru Granth Sahib Ji and Guru Nanak Dev Ji, I know I have made countless mistakes. I've been saved by the projector sometimes. But Sad Sangat Ji, all I can ask for is the Guru's blessings and your blessings. As Guru's Roop, Sad Sangat Ji, you are the Guru's form. And I ask for any forgiveness for any mistakes that I've made in this Katha. Please bless us with your darshan next week as well. And hopefully, like I will say it all the time, this is a journey that we all go on together. देहो सजना सी सड़ियाँ जो होवे साहिब से मेल गज के आखो वाहिगुरु जी का खालसा वाहिगुरु जी की फतेह.
If you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, share and subscribe. Please donate and help spread Guruji's message. Link is in the description below. Vaheguru Ji ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji ki Fateh.